Hello everyone, I'm Jackie Baker with Spark Events, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about running your business. And so my tips today are really going to be focused on the administrative business side of running your own event planning company or something similar. So here are the top 3. Number 1, contracts. It is so important that you get a contract together, ideally with legal help, to make sure that you're protected and that you get what you need from your clients and they get what they need from you. You don't want to find yourself in a scenario where you're not getting paid or there's, a disagreement about scope of work. There could be a disagreement about scope of work and you really don't want that happening. So make sure you're protected, make sure the terms and your fees are spelled out specifically when they're due. Make sure that there are clauses for indemnifying you. Find out what indemnifying means. I can barely even say the word. Make sure you have a good, solid contract. I finally went ahead after many years and consulted a lawyer that was specializing in event planning, and she was able to pull together a really good contract after asking me questions about how I run my business and the types of clients I work with. Definitely well worth it. Tip number 1 is finance. You need to make sure that your books are in order when you start your business. It is so important and it can be super messy if you leave it too long. I tried to do all the bookkeeping myself. I figured QuickBooks must be like Quicken, like a checkbook. I just write down what I spend and how much money I'm given and it's all good. I took accounting in college, so it should be fine. I totally messed it up. The numbers were correct, but where they were going were incorrect. And then when I finally grew big enough that I couldn't just do all of it myself, I had to bring in a bookkeeper. And I had to pay that bookkeeper to fix all my errors. So just start out with a bookkeeper. It may only be that they look at your books once a quarter because you're small, but they make sure things are put in places where you're going to need them. And then as you grow, all that data is in the right place. So definitely begin with the end in mind there. Another thing that you're going to need in the finance category is an accountant, a CPA. They're going to help make sure that your taxes are ready to go at the end of the year, that there are no mistakes, that you're filing correctly. And then ideally, you don't just wait to talk to your CPA at the end of the year. Schedule time, even if you have to pay for it, because it's going to be worth it, to talk about what your tax liability is, places you can save, things you can write off, and just keep in mind all throughout the year and not just when December is over, it's already January, your books have closed, and there's nothing you can really do to go back and fix anything. So bookkeeper and CPA, someone you trust and cares about your business and wants to help you grow and thrive. Number 3 is insurance. Now, I didn't think insurance was a super big deal in the beginning, but then when you actually get into some bigger contracts and you realize if something happens and it's not your fault, but you are the planner of an event and maybe someone slips and falls at the venue or gets food poisoning and decides, I'm going to sue everyone, including the event planner. If you don't have your own insurance policy, they can really come after you. And the thought of losing a bunch of money or worse, my house, because of some big event that I planned and something happened that was not my fault, or even if it was my fault, or it was a combination of things that happened, that I am covered. So there is specific event insurance. There's insurance that will cover your employees. There's insurance in case you get scammed. There's all kinds of different things. So what you want to do is find an insurance broker that you know and trust, ideally, or ask around to your other folks in your network and see who they use. And then really have an in-depth conversation about the type of insurance you need. How big are your contracts? Are they usually $10,000? Are you working on events that are over $1 million? Are you working with, caterers and venues and decorators and AV and all of that? And they're all intertwined. And so to make sure that everyone's insured properly, those are the conversations you need to have with your agent. And then shop around as well. Get a few quotes. You don't have to go with the first person and think it's going to work out. Another thing too is to make sure that your team, when the time comes, are also covered under your policy. So as you grow from being one person to maybe have a couple W-2s, maybe have some contractors, that you're all covered and safe. So those are my top 3 administrative tips for running your event planning business. It's not necessarily the most glamorous thing, but boy, it is going to be a lifesaver once you have it all set. Have consistency in what you do, in your contracting policies, in your bookkeeping, in your insurance. Make sure you check it each year and to see if there's any updating that needs to happen, and make sure to have all of that information and their key contacts close to you. What did you do to get your business set up administratively? What are you doing now if you've grown and things have changed? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you like this video, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.